Hi, my name is Anne and I've been in a bit of a reading slump. So, today, the day I'm filming this, it's the 30th of September, so that means tomorrow is the first day of October. And that also means that it's time to film another wrap-up. But I realized that I have only finished one book this month. Yep, that's quite the bummer when you compare it to last month when I read 10 books, which was my record for this year and probably ever. And I actually thought September was going to be a really good reading month for me, because in the second week of this month I went on holiday. I went on holiday to Normandy, and usually during that holiday I read a lot, but this year I took a few long books with me, and although I did read quite a lot, I only finished one book, and after that holiday ended I kind of stopped reading. So let's first talk about the book that I did finish, and that book is Summer at the Seaside. No, that's wrong. It's The Summer Seaside Kitchen by Jenny Colgan. I love Jenny Colgan. I talked about this a little bit in my September TBR. I've read quite a few of her books. They always involve a woman who has some kind of crisis in her life or is just kind of stuck in a rut, as was the case with this book, and for some reason she chooses to or is forced to go to a small town or an island, like in this book, or any kind of rural setting, and then she flourishes and falls in love and etc, etc. So those are usually the settings for Jenny Colgan's book, and that was the case with this one as well. I think I gave it 3 stars. Well, I should have prepared better for this video. I think I gave it 3 or 3.5 stars, probably 3.5 now that I think about it. I liked it a lot. I like the setting. It is set on the small island of Muir, which doesn't really exist, but it's based on the islands at the north, above Scotland, I think. I'm not sure. I'm not great at topography. But yeah, it's based on that. It was really nice. I love books that are set in small villages or islands or places like that, and I love the main character. What I didn't love about this book was the love part of the book, the love story. I'm not going to go into detail about that because that would spoil some things if you were planning on reading this book as well. But if you have read this book, you can contact me on Twitter or Goodreads to talk about it, because I would love to talk about the love story in this book and where I think it went wrong. But yeah, thoroughly enjoyed this, and it was fun to read this while I was at the seaside as well. So that was my wrap up. I could stop the video here, but that would be a bit boring, so I am going to talk about my reading slump and the books I have been sort of reading during my reading slump. So yeah, the book that caused it all, I think. And that book is The Two Towers by J.R.R. Tolkien. Will I ever stop talking about this book? Will I ever finish this book? It's a good question. I don't have the answer to it. The last time I read anything in this book is probably 3 weeks ago. I'm still in the middle of it, not even in the middle of it, unfortunately. I know I shouldn't hate on this book. A lot of people love it, and I love the world of Tolkien, the world of Middle-earth, and the setting. I love the story. I love all of the ideas, the entire thing behind it. Whatever. I love the concept. I don't love the way it's written down, and I can't focus on it, and I can't seem to get through it, but I will. I will do it. I'm going to finish this in October. I hereby pledge this to myself, to you, to whoever cares about it. I'm going to finish The Two Towers in October. Okay, so yeah, this book caused it all. I was planning on reading the first book, book 3, which is, this book consists of book 3 and book 4 of The Lord of the Rings. I was planning on reading the first book before my holiday and then read the second book afterwards. But I got nowhere near the end of the first book because I was bored, and then I came home and I was still nowhere near finishing this, and I just kind of got bummed out, and then it was time to start my buddy read, which I'll be talking about next. No, not next. After the next book I'll be talking about, because I'm in the middle of 4 books right now. So yeah, I'm going to finish this, but it has caused my reading slump, and I am a bit salty about that towards it. So then, after I finished the summer Seaside kitchen on holiday, I moved on to this one. It's a big book. It's In the Presence of the Enemy by Elizabeth George, and I think it's almost 700 pages long. Oh no, almost 650 pages long. This is book 8 in the Inspector Linley mystery series, and I've read the other 7 books over the course of the past 10 years, I think. I really enjoy them, but I also read them very slowly because they are quite big and dense, and there are a lot of words on the pages. There are a lot of big paragraphs. I'm really enjoying it, but I'm not reading this after dinner, basically. I don't want to read this in the evenings, but because it's about a girl, a small girl, 10-year-old girl who goes missing, and it goes a little bit wrong. A little bit is an understatement. Like it says on the back, the events escalate to unbearable heights. And I have a lot of nightmares. It's a thing. It has to do with mental health stuff, trauma, whatever. Let's not get into that. I have a lot of nightmares, and I don't want to do anything to trigger any more of those nightmares. So reading about quite horrible things is not one of the things I do before going to bed. I'm rereading 1984 by George Orwell as a buddy read with Julia from Books Bunny and me. I read this in high school. I'm making an entire video about it. I'm doing a vlog partly and an analysis type thing after I finish this. I'm now halfway through. I love this book. I know already this is going to be a 5-star read for me. I read it in high school, like I said. I think I gave this 4 stars on Goodreads, but I read it way before Goodreads was even a thing. So that was rating it in hindsight. And now I'm reading this with a full understanding of the English language, as opposed to when I was 15, and a full understanding of, not full understanding, I don't think anyone fully understands politics, but a better understanding of politics and dystopian settings and horrible things going on in the world. I appreciate this even more. It's such a good book. It was written in 1948, and it's still so relevant today. I've said that about quite a few books in the past, like To Kill a Mockingbird, but it's really astonishing how much this holds up, and it's also written very well. Not that I'm surprised that something is written very well if it's old, but it feels very modern how it's written down. So yeah, I'm definitely enjoying this, but I'm also annotating it, as in I'm marking a lot with my purple marker and sometimes writing things in the margins, so it's not a very quick read for me. Luckily, Julia doesn't mind, because she's also not been reading a lot. And then there's one more book I've been reading, and that is an audiobook I've been listening to, With the Fire on High by Elizabeth Acevedo. I'm not sure how to pronounce her name. I'm almost halfway through now. I've been listening it for the majority of the month, I think the entire month. And I've been enjoying it, but I don't think it's going to be a 5-star or even a 4-star read for me. That might potentially have something to do with the narrator. The book is narrated by Elizabeth Acevedo herself, which is really cool, I think, that an author narrates her own book. But it takes me out of the story sometimes, just the way she tells it, the intonation. It's sometimes almost spoken as if it were a poem, a bit too dramatic for me, I think, at times. But I am enjoying it. It's about a teenage girl who goes to high school, but she also has a daughter since she became pregnant in freshman year, and it's about her struggles but also the joys of parenthood and how she has to balance having a daughter with school and her culinary ambitions, because she loves to cook. The book is full of food, and her love for food is really wonderful, and I'm really enjoying that, but I'm not enjoying it as much as I'd hoped I would. But perhaps the second half will captivate me more. That's going on with me. I'm in a reading slump. It's not the worst reading slump. I still have been reading bits and pieces here and there, but I've not been reading much. I've also been playing a lot of City Skylines, and I've been watching a lot of Netflix. I was a little bit ill last week. I had a cold, so I didn't feel like reading much. I just lay on the couch watching stuff. I'm still a little bit sniffly, as you might have noticed during this video. But yeah, that's it for this video. I just wanted to catch you guys up on how my September reading month has been. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like it if you liked it, and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more of me. Please tell me what you've been reading last month, if you've had a good reading month or a not so good reading month like me. And have a wonderful day. Bye!